All right, so this segment for my 30 tips and tricks, drop a 1 if you are on right now, put a 1 in the comments so I know that you are here. And if you're a replay watcher, drop me a 2 in the comments so I know you came to show me some love and I can show you the love back. And of course, if you learned something from this, I want you to give me your wow factor down in the comments. I want you to tell me that you learned something, or give me a round of applause or something so I know that you got something from this. Because if you have dark circles, you are going to want to be on here. I'm going to accentuate and dramatize the results, because I know I've shown this, oh, you correct this, you do that, but I'm still getting questions from people. How do I cover dark circles? And I'm like, I keep showing how to cover dark circles. So I'm going to give you a very good visual so you understand what I'm talking about, how color cancels color, how to correct. When you're going on the website, if you're looking for the word corrector, you're not finding it because it's actually concealer. Concealer, what makes it a corrector is the color, okay? And our Limelight's concealers can be used as corrector because the pigment count is so high. It's 52% pigment and it's waterproof. So it could be sheared out or it could be put on heavy, full coverage or sheared out. So you can cover a tattoo. So if you have a black tattoo with blue and purple and all those colors in it, our concealer will cover that. So if it's gonna color a tattoo, it's gonna cover your damn dark circle, okay? So we're gonna show you, well, not we, me. So first let me get on some primer. I just moisturize with 40 Cure Cream. That is what I'm using this winter. And I mix it with, I mix it with a little of One Drop Wonder. So this is body and hand cream, but I'm using it for my face because it's working. I'm spraying on a water-based primer spray. You need to use water-based primer spray when you are using the Wax Botanical foundation, which I'm going to apply really quick to get that on my face, just to kind of give myself some even complexion here. And you'll see just alone, some people say, does concealer go first or last? I like to do concealer last because you want to see, like, see how I just did that? Look at the difference of the sides. You want to see what your your foundation is gonna cover first. So see how I come up? I can do the eyelids. If you just have very light pigmentation stuff like light red, light spots, your foundation is gonna totally cover everything, and you can totally skip the concealer or the corrector altogether. Okay, so that's my little tip or trick. And then if there's just that little boost that you need, then you go in with your concealer or your corrector. So you could also, if you're correcting, like correcting red spots, brown spots, you can correct first, because that's usually going to be with like a peach or a yellow, and then go over with your foundation. But if you're just going to conceal, like highlight the area, like really brighten up your eye and everything, you want to put your foundation on first to see what it's going to cover. So just look at this Wax Botanical foundation. Instantly I went from a uneven skin tone face, right, to a beautiful second skin looking face. What do you think, right? Already, like, I can literally throw on mascara and walk out the door. So if you don't have this foundation yet, Wax Botanical is where it's at. And to get the right color, just private message me your selfie, your face with no makeup, and I will get you the right match. Now let's talk dark circles. So I'm going to exaggerate. So right here, you see there's no flaws. I'm going to purposely go into purposely go into brown eyeshadow, and I'm going to give myself a dark circle because I'm lucky and I don't have dark circles, okay? And I'm going to show you the difference when you use the wrong one. So I'm showing you the do and the don't. So we're going to exaggerate a dark circle, okay? This is going to be proof to you. Hello, Erin. We are doing how to correct dark circles. Okay, so pretend this is my dark circle. So what you need to cover brown, a dark circle. Now notice in here, a lot of people, this is where it's like blue, purple, or brown, right? And then, but the blue and purple or brown isn't everywhere. So you don't want to take your corrector and put it everywhere. That's why I figure if I do this visual, you'll get it. So I'm going to go into number 3, which is a peachy, salmony corrector, okay? You're going to warm it up on your hand. I'm actually going to use my wrist because the wrist where your veins are, warms it up faster. Because the concealers are waterproof and wax-based, they are very stiff. So you need to work it, girl. You need to really work it like with your body heat to get that concealer moving and flowing, okay? So if you're just jumping on, give me a 1 down below. And we are doing color corrector, and I purposely gave myself some dark circles with brown eyeshadow. All right, so let me just get a little bit more because I have to exaggerate this for camera purposes. So we're really mixing that in. Okay, so now it's nice and creamy. So now I'm not gonna wipe, okay? I'm not gonna do any type of wiping. When you're correcting, you need to press and tap. So when I tap this on, you're gonna see the dark circle disappear. See how it starts to totally cancel out, right? You see that? And that's just tapping on a salmon corrector. It gets rid of that brown, okay? Let me get a little bit more. Now, if you were to use yellow, the yellow-based corrector, which is right here, I want to show you how it's going to be wrong. It's going to turn it gray. This is how you know you are using the wrong color. If you're going to the store and you're putting on your concealer, first of all, if you're wiping, it's going to shine through. If I sit there and start wiping on my corrector, the brown's going to show through because you're just wiping it away. It's like you're applying it, but you're wiping it away. Wiping means sheer. It means see-through. Patting and tapping means coverage. Do we get that so far? Sue, yes, it means you choose your shade of corrector for your skin. So if it's a real dark circle and you're like a little bit more darker skin, you want to use number 3 or number 4. If you are fair skin with a dark circle, you want to use number 2. But number 2 and number 3 and number 4 are all salmony peach correctors. Number 1 in our palette is the only yellow corrector. That blocks out red. So now I'm going to show you what yellow does. So if I was to put, let me share this out. If I was to put yellow on here, do you see how it's ashy? Do you see the brown still shining through? I need to see like, oh my God, I get it. So right there, you could still see the dark circle because I used the wrong corrector. On this side, it's camouflaged, right? So now, say you corrected and now you go into your concealer because when I mean by conceal now, I corrected. Now we want to, because you're like, well, what about under here? If this is all red and veiny, right? But that's your dark circle, and you don't want to put that color everywhere, now it's time to brighten with a conceal, to conceal and brighten. That I'm going to use number 1. So we're going to take number 1 because it's a lighter color. See it? It's like on the pinky side, more on the pinky side. This is like a pale pink. Number 2 and number 3 are salmon, like peach. Number 1 is more of your fair pinky toned. Number 1 is yellow, which blocks out red. Does everybody got me? So now I'm going to take that 0, put that on my hand, and you're going to see me. Now I'm going to go in and conceal, and you're going to see how gorgeous this eye comes out and brightens, and you're going to see how ick this one looks, okay? So let me rub that in, get it working on the back of my hand, nice and creamy. Again, you want to really work it so it's creamy. Don't stick your finger into the palette or onto a brush and then go on. Maybe in summer, or if your palette was nice and warmed up, that's fine, but it's cold out right now. Our products are wax-based. Our mascara is wax-based. You have to warm up the mascara tube. I know I'm getting off track, but I'm covering wax. Stiff, hard. Think of your candles. When you light your candle, the wax is hard. Once the flame hits your candle, it turns to liquid. Do you get it? Okay, so now we're going to take that 1, that 0. Now watch. Now I'm going to brighten everywhere. Inner corner of the eye, eyelid. Totally happy. Again, I'm tapping. Do you see me wiping? Tapping. Now I'm going to sit back and look. Do you see the difference? Now if I tried to just go over this yellow and brown and try to brighten, what does it look like? Do you see it? Let me blend that out. You could still see the dark circle. It looks sunken in. It's like there's like a shadow casting from underneath. This side is brightened up. Do you see what I'm saying? So we sit back. So I hope that's a good visual for you. And I'm going to show you one more. So let me get this off. I'm going to totally wipe off what I did. If you're just jumping on, you're going to see the power of concealer and correctors, choosing the right and wrong color, what cancels what. I figured this was a good visual for you because this is the only way you're going to get it. You're going to be like, oh, okay. All right, let's get that foundation back on. All right, go back into my foundation brush. We're going to get that foundation back on. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Beth. Yes, gray, Shannon. Yes, I'm glad you could see this. I figure the power of this video, it's probably good if I start showing you guys the do's and don'ts, don't you think? I feel like if I'm teaching you, you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. But do you get it? Do you really get it? Thank you, Lisa. Lise, it must be the educator in me, right? C&D educator. It's got to be that. C&D taught me well how to be a good instructor, a good educator, and it just comes natural to me now. Okay. Which, speaking of Fashion Week, I'll be working C&D, I'll be working Fashion Week. Will you be there? If you are, if you're working Fashion Week, or you're going to be out in that area, let me know. We'll get a cocktail together. Yeah. Would you do the same with lines and baggies when tired? Rita. So what do you mean lines? Do you mean fine lines? Do you mean wrinkles? Be more specific. Well, anytime you're down in New York, let me know, Lisa. All right, ready? You guys are like, come on. All right, now I'm going to show you the power of red. So you have red tones in your eyes. I mean, I show you that all the time, but we're just going to emphasize that a little. I'm going to go into, let's take this color. So this is like a red, right? This is like, oh, I have red under my eyes, right? I'm tired, I'm red, or I got punched. All right, so now I'm going to show you how the yellow is going to correct this, but the peach is just going to make it look more red, okay? So let's first take out the power of, let's do the wrong one. So I'm going to take out the peach. Again, that's the one we covered the brown with, right? Put it back on my wrist. Warm it up. Rita, wrinkles under eyes. Rita, so your dark circle is here, right? Wrinkles are out here. Dark circles aren't out here. So you want to pat the concealer, the corrector, to cover the area, not the whole area, the line, the exact mark. If you have a thin blue line and red line, you want to correct the blue and the yellow. Then, when you brighten with your concealer to overall brighten, you want to wipe or shear out where the wrinkles are. So you literally want to stretch your wrinkles open, press it thin, like wipe it out thin, and then set it with translucent powder. Or wipe it thin, then take some of your 10 Years Younger setting spray onto your sponge and press it into the wrinkles before you relax your face and your wrinkles go back into place. If you put too much concealer or corrector all over the eye and it's layered a little heavy in the wrinkle area, it's going to crease and bring out your wrinkles. Bags and puffiness is a makeup can only conceal color. Makeup is not going to take away bags. Bags, you want to use Eye Aspire. Not sure if you have the Eye Aspire yet. This is going to tighten and depuff the bags. It's a gel on a ceramic, ice cold ceramic tip. So right now when you squeeze the gel and you start going back and forth, this thing is so cold, and you can get even colder if you keep it in the fridge. It's going to pull down the bag and repair the wrinkles. And this should be used twice daily. So I hope that answered your question. All right, so now we're going to take that peach corrector. I'm going to show you the wrong way. So now if I come under here, it's not going to look bad, but it's just going to make it look more pink. All right, so you can still see the pink under there. All right. Now if I go into the yellow, take that out, because we don't want to look more tired. It still just looks pink under there. So now if I take the yellow and conceal the red, I use too much. There we go. Just bring it down. So if you ever use too much, you just come down like that and you keep tapping till it disappears. Now the red is covered, but this side still looks like pink. It looks tired, right? So then again, I'm going to go over with the number 0 to overall highlight, overall conceal. So now you get it. When you say, Candy, color match me, when you send me an after picture and you say, can you color match me? That's why our palettes come like this. Because everybody needs a corrector and a concealer. So that's why you're not being sold. It's your foundation, your concealer, and your corrector. Everybody has stuff to correct. You can have zero color under your eyes and have flawless look, but you may be red around the nose, or maybe there's veins that you want to cover in your eyelid. Because it's wax-based, it's also going to act as an eyeshadow primer, okay, when you set it with powder. So now I'm going to go into that number 0 for my overall brightening, and I'm going to go to the under eye part, like this, just to brighten and come all the way down. I like to brighten everywhere. The brow bone, the inner corner of the eye right here. You can bring that around the nose, the nostril, the inner corners of the mouth, because I'm getting old, it's sagging right here, right? So I want to create an illusion of that being brightened up and lifted and younger. That's why you guys are like, oh, Candy, you look so good in your photos. You look so young, like so much younger. Your skin looks so healthy. It's because I'm using, well, number one, I'm using good skincare, but I'm using the right correctors. I'm using the right things in the right places. That's the power of makeup. I could take 10 years off anybody's face just by plugging in the right colors in the right places, okay? So see? So now if we put this on, it won't look as bad, but it's still gonna look tired. You know, and you'll say to me, Candy, I still see my dark circle. Where this side, the light is popping out. How was that, guys? I'm not sure which is in my palette. Concealers are... Oh, Christine, so you're probably just jumping on. So a corrector is the color. It's not called a corrector. So when you go onto the website, you see all the colors, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then number 6 isn't in here. So what's going to correct is based on the color. So like number 2 and number 3 are both correctors. They're both a peachy salmon in color. But depending on your skin tone is which one you get. Or depending on how dark the brown is under your eye. When somebody sends me their picture to be color corrected, if they have fair skin but they got a real dark circle, I tell them to get number 3, and then I usually have them brighten with number 2 or number 0. If you have a lot of pink and red in your skin, I always tell you to get corrector number 1, and then I usually have you brighten with one of these depending on your skin tone. So maybe this is going to help a little now understanding maybe you're applying things backwards, some of you, or maybe you are wiping instead of just placing, like tapping. Maybe you're putting the corrector everywhere and it's only supposed to be on what you're correcting. So I really hope this was a good visual. Now, to extend it a little bit further, once you get your concealer and your correctors in place, if you have the fine lines out here, this is going to touch back on Rita's question. You want to take your damp sponge, okay, or your finger. So you would just stretch out. So say I have a lot of deep wrinkles right here. So now I would wipe. I would start to wipe and really thin out the concealer down here. Then I would take my translucent setting powder, which is that white clear one, because there's no oils in it. It's not foundation. It's not makeup. Pressed powder isn't going to work. You can't use Bare Minerals or loose tinted powder or MAC powder. No compact. It has to be white. It has to be clear, okay? Because it means it's weightless, colorless, and it's going to set. So you want to load some up on your brush. You want to wipe away where the wrinkles are and then immediately go in and set it, okay? So that's one way. So then when you relax the wrinkle, there's not going to be anything collecting in there. The other way is to take a damp sponge, take your 10 Years Younger setting spray, wrong one, spray it, and then pull your skin and then work it and set it. Work in the concealer so it's setting at the same time with the spray. Then you can I like to call it lock and load. Hit it with your translucent setting powder and then give it a spray, okay? Sometimes also, if you're the type of person that did a lot of correcting, you look and you're like, I look cakey still. I patted, I did what Candice said, I still look kind of cakey. Again, you take your sponge, make sure it's wringed out. There's no water in it. You can't wring any water out, but it's damp. And then you're going to spray it with your 10 Years Younger setting spray, both sides. And then what you're going to do is work it in. Press and roll. Press and roll. Not wipe. Press and roll. Press and roll. Press and roll. Work it into the skin. Make it all look like one. Turn it to the flat side. And then give it like wrinkles around here. Press. Press. All around the mouth. Wrinkles in the forehead. Lift them up. Press. Press. Press it in. Lock and load powder. Lock and load powder. All right? that's what you do, girls. Take your 10 Years Younger setting spray, give a final seal, and you look like second skin, and you look 10 years younger. So I'm glad that this was a good visual for you guys. I encourage you all to try this. If you already have this line, I gave you a homework assignment to try this out. If you've been dying to try this, you need to send me a selfie picture wearing no makeup in front of a window so that I could see what tones you have in your skin so I can color match you right. And then let's get you corrected. So I hope you learned something. Any questions, drop them down below. If you learned, please share this video. Help someone else out. Show me some love and help me with the shares. And as always, love you all. I'm Candice Bertolini, and I am your makeup fix. Bye.